Some of you guys might be old enough to remember this game that came out about 15 years ago or so. It goes by the name of BioShock. I know a lot of you probably know what I'm talking about. It's had a couple of sequels after that. It was a pretty cool game. The biggest thing that I think really drew people in about that game was not only just, graphical in the world. It was a very vibrant, cool story, but it took place underwater. The city, there was like an underwater city called Rapture. And that sort of thing is the thing that we're going to be building today in Digital Reef Games' new AQUATICO, which they've been so helpful and so nice in sending me out a copy. This game's published by Overseer Games, and it is an alpha demo version. So lots of things are going to change about this. You're going to have a chance to play this yourself if you'd like to in October's Next Fest on Steam. So that starts about a Monday, so you'll be able to get a demo of this if you'd like to. Link in the description, add it to your wish list if you'd like to, all that. You can play this yourself on Monday as far as the demo goes. For our subsurface base, the general theme of the game, and there's a tutorial with it, but we're going to skip that. The general theme of the game is that life is uninhabitable on the surface, or at least it's about to be. And so we need to start trying to find ways to survive. And, obviously a lot of people have said, let's go to space and all that stuff. And that's great. That seems pretty expensive. We're going to go, instead of going up, we're going to go down. We're going to go under the water. So I'm going to name our base Last Hope, because this is like our last hope of survival. Okay. And we need to pick a bit of a symbol here. And I'm not really sure. There's a whole bunch of different ones here, which are pretty cool, to be honest. Maybe we'll just go with this one. I know there's actually a lot. I haven't actually looked at these yet. Looks like that's about it. Okay, so Last Hope. It's like a little hammerhead shark sort of thing. I kind of like it. And we'll just make it this white symbol here. Okay, so we're going to essentially build our own Rapture. We're going to do so in Shallow Reef. Now, this is the only map that's available in my current version of the game, but you can see the different map types here. Underwater Sierra, Deep Passage, Blue Caldera, Wasteland looks pretty cool, Crater Island, Submerged Prairie. This looks fairly large. Descent, The Boundary, Sunken Rift, Beneath the Ocean. Okay. And then also Neptune's Throne, which kind of looks like it starts above ground. I don't know. It's just different graphically. It looks different. But Shallow Reef's the only thing I have available right now. So let's hit next. I'm going to change the population to like 2 out of 14. I'm not entirely sure how that adjusts. There is some pop-up here. So it modifies the number of residents and drones you have at the beginning of the game. Okay, so we can bring this down to, let's say, 12 drones. It's fine. This is the standard default that it wants me to start at. So I'm just going to let this be a thing. And I'm going to hit continue. So this takes a second to boot up. So I just want to go over a couple of things, okay? The first thing is, again, we play a lot of games on this channel that are very early in their development, right? Which means by the time you see this, if it's been a long time since the release of the video, the game has probably changed quite a bit. So I welcome your comments and suggestions and all that stuff. For the devs, they are going to see this video. So down in the description, or I guess down in the comments, you can leave all those ideas if you have them, all the feedback and comments or whatever, and tell me whether you like the game, tell them whether you like the game, etc. There's a lot to this, and it's not as deep as a lot of the other games we've played before. It has a lot of simplification that's been brought into it, and I think they found a fairly healthy balance in terms of getting people involved in a city builder while not being really like highly technical, like something like Captain of Industry or something, right? So, okay. First, we need to choose a location for our people. So our subsurface base is where we all start. If I zoom out, we can see the map. Now, there's a lot of different colors here, and there's a grid, sort of a legend, if you will, down here on where it is. You have ore-rich areas, fertile areas, the abyss, and there's places you can't build as well. So I can't build in the abyss. I can't build over here in these areas here, but I can build pretty much anywhere else in any of these other places. Now, I can also kind of go wherever I want, and that's kind of interesting to me. I kind of like the idea of going wherever I want. But I do want a sufficient amount of buildable area near me. I thought it would be cool to like build in the center, but it doesn't look like there's anywhere really in the center on this map. So I'm going to kind of shift maybe over here on the right side, because I think most people who show this game are probably going to start right where the camera starts you. And I want to be a little different. So I'm going to start over here. And I think supposedly this is ore-rich areas right through here, so I don't want to get in the way of a lot of mining necessarily. So why don't we start on the fertile land that's sort of like maybe right in here, let's say. We're going to want to spread ourselves out just a little bit. Not a lot of it, but a little bit. Maybe we'll go up. You know what? I think I'm just going to start right about here. I don't want to get in the way of the ore-rich stuff, but I'm going to start like right here, I think. Okay, subsurface base established. It says, welcome a sea mare. Love it. Leading an underwater colony is a great responsibility, but we at the New Atlantis Initiative, oh man, New Atlantis would have been a good name, wouldn't it? Initiative, have no doubt that you can handle it. Going underwater is our last chance of survival since the asteroid hit made the surface uninhabitable. All right, so big old asteroid hit, right? People didn't look up. And now the last remaining survivors are like, dude, we can't do this anymore. We got to go underground. In this case, underwater, okay? Focus on the production of plastics for construction, fuel for heating, food for our people. The cold winter currents will strike soon. Build a beacon of civilization and give hope to mankind in these hard times. So we're going to want to build a gatherer's place to get basic food, sponge collector to gather sponges because we need it for plastics. We're going to build an oil platform and a fuel refinery to get heating going. And then we get plastics going so that we can continue further construction. So those are the ideas. Okay, let's pause it really quick. We've got a bunch of these little drones. These guys are our little worker drones, okay? They're going to go off and do a lot of stuff, but we also have two people. There's Aaron and Aaliyah, okay? I think probably what this is just the list of possible names, and these are the two top in the alphabetical order, right? Probably. Anyway, so there's that. And this is our subsurface base, which eventually we can start putting in directives and all sorts of stuff like that to actually form civilization. But for now, we just need to get going on survival. At the top of the screen, you're going to see that we have credits. We've got food right here and a huge breakdown of like all the different stuff we can make for food. There are a lot of types of food, believe it or not, underwater. And food tier 1, we've got 300 of it. We don't have any tier 2 or tier 3 food. And this all correlates to people's satisfaction and happiness. You got to keep people happy too. Obviously, we have income and expenses and things like that as well to manage. We've got medicine, we've got basic goods, we've got luxuries, we've got batteries, which is important. We also have sponge. We're going to use that for other types of manufacturing. On the right side, we've got plastic, which is our main manufacturing resource at the start anyway. We've got tools, iron, stone, quartz, glass, and concrete. I've never gotten to these, so I guess we'll be adventuring so far. We also have, at the top of the screen, you can see electricity, crude oil, fuel, and oxygen. These are our primary things that we're really going to have to focus on building up. On the right side of this little area, for last hope, it does say that we have 2 residents, but no houses for them. So we're going to have to look at getting them some shelter pretty soon here. The 2 adults are just the 2 people in the suits right now. They have no place to live right now. We have 12 drones. We have 3 influence points. I don't know how to use those, so we'll look at that later too. And then we have happiness, which is 99 so far. Everybody starts really happy. Okay, so if I hit this grid, you can see how the map lays out. And we're gonna need to get over, you can have our oil kind of coming from over here. We're gonna wanna refine that stuff. We've got fertile land here, which I'm hoping we can just maybe do some agriculture stuff. There's some opportunities to get ore maybe over in this area and all around. And yeah, so let's start by looking at where we're going to get our sponges, right? So if I go into production buildings, we have 4 buildings available to us at the start, and we need to get going on those. So sponge collector, it's a central hub for sponge gathering activities. It plants and also gathers sponge and essentials for plastic production. I can go over here and put this down over here. And there's also a lot of it going on over here too, which is a pretty good spot, to be honest. The radius of this building can be increased. So just because I can't get all of this area doesn't mean that it's a bad spot. I think I'm going to start right here because I can increase the radius to get more of that stuff in the back later too. So, and this also gives me a pretty good amount of location here that's fertile land. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start it right about here. Gives me a good amount of fertile land to work with. And then when I expand the radius, I'll be able to get that stuff that's in the back. So let's just hit that for starters. All right, I'm going to let the time go. I don't want to spend the whole time paused. We're going to take a look at some of the other things we need to do. One of the things is food and a gatherer's place. They're going to gather edible maritime fauna like mussels, sea snails, and sea cucumbers. All right, so they don't have a radius, so they're just kind of going off and doing whatever. But this is the fertile area, so I'm kind of hoping they can find it easier if it's over here. So why don't I place this building? Maybe like, see, like maybe we'll make like a path or something right through here, so we can say the building is like maybe here, and then they can go ahead and gather stuff as they go. Okay. Next, we're going to want to set up, I could also set up a fisherman's hub. I'm going to hold off on that because I don't have a whole lot of people at the moment, but as we get more people, then I can work on that. So the next building I want to do, let's turn the grid back on, is the oil platform. We need this to, we need to refine it, but it's also good for our heating. And over here is an oil-rich area. You can see oil-rich areas is this color. And so I'm going to say that this oil platform, if I zoom in on it, you can see that there is these little circles. This is where we're going to connect our pipelines and stuff. You can also see on the hover that the work efficiency in this area is 100%. If I move it closer to the colony, that percentage drops. And eventually it caps out at the low end anyway, is 50%. So you can build these anywhere you want, but you're only going to get 50% unless you're over one of these. But you can also see, in addition to the circles, there's also two little arrows. In this case, it's in the middle left part of this highlight. And that's more like where people are going to enter and exit and stuff. So I want to kind of keep that focused on towards the colony too. So why don't I put this oil platform here? That's 100%. 100% efficiency. Looks pretty good. The next thing I want to do is I want to get a refiner going. So we're going to have an oil refinery. It's very large. And then again, the entrance and stuff is on the side too. Now I'm gonna keep this kind of pointed this way, but see how these circles, right? They're where the pipelines are gonna connect, and you can only connect it in one spot. So I am gonna try to go ahead and do something like this. I think place this refinery right here. Okay, so it's just off center. Okay, now you might be thinking, oh man, why didn't you line this up? Well, you'll see. And then it's because it's me, obviously. If you've been around this channel long enough, you know that symmetry is boring. We spice things up here. Plastics factory. This is going to make plastics, which is what we need to build things. And the plastics factory could also be located over here. I guess there's really no reason why it can't be. So I can put this, kind of want to put it out of the way. Tell you what, my people don't have anything to do right now, and the drones are kind of sitting around, so we're going to go over to clear buildings and resources. I'm going to tell them to just gather stuff, and I want you guys to gather up all the stuff that's right here. So we're just going to clear this area and gather those resources. If there's anything over here, please gather that, and then the drones are going to come over and do that. I could probably also tell them to do this part too, but yeah, all right, there's... Okay, so let's turn the grid off for a second. So these buildings, right, they're going to be very efficient, right? But they don't have sponge plant drone. They don't have any drones. So I'm going to give them a drone. This guy over here, also same thing. Another thing I could do is I can go into the additional panels here. And I think it's in the jobs board here, it's J. And what I can do is I can tell them to automatically assign workforce. And then any building that needs a drone, there will be drones automatically assigned to that building. Some places need people, not drones. So rescue drones, carpenter drones, fisherman drones, obviously these are drones, but pub worker, right? Electronics engineer, perfumists, I don't know, singer, okay, right? Network manager. There's a lot of stuff that's in the future of this game, and those take people. For now, I'm going to do automatically assign workforce, but you know, in the future, we might want to do something different with that. So these buildings here, for example, are going to have their automatically assigned workforce too. Now, this is going to start pumping, but it's not doing anything because there's no pipe. There's nothing requesting it. If there is nowhere to put it, it's not going to work. Same thing with the refinery. There's no input, therefore there's no work. So I'm going to go into the infrastructure tab here. I'm going to grab pipeline. The pipelines in this game kind of carry everything. Oil, fuel, oxygen, electricity. Anything that just gets transported in that manner is going to automatically be all-encompassing on this pipeline. So I'm going to start at this outside edge here. And I'm going to draw this pipeline right along the edge like this. And then I'm just going to connect you here. And that looks nice and clean. All right. So now these buildings are just going to be connected. And we're going to start getting refined oil. So you can see crude oil balance is plus 40, which is great. Our fuel balance is plus 90. Fantastic. We have spare to work with. So we have something to work with. Now, we're not really storing it. It's just this is our capacity in production. As far as I understand, that's what it is. Production is 120 and we're using 80. So we have a balance of 40 we can work with. We do need to get plastics and stuff going. So why don't we go ahead and take plastic factory here. And you can see what it costs to build this. Its upkeep is going to be 120 sponges and 60 fuel. We don't have enough fuel necessarily for that, but maybe this will ramp production once we do. Or we can just optimize and we can boost its production by 20%. That'll probably work. So let's go ahead and grab plastics factory. And I'm going to have these guys build this. Leave a little bit of a space. And we're going to build it like right here. So lining things up like that. And then we'll go ahead and take the pipe and connect it right like that. Okay. So that's going to work. And that's going to allow us to get plastics and stuff going. Now, I'm also going to grab, I think it's not security buildings. It's public buildings? Yeah, depot. I'm also going to grab a depot. And I'm going to bring a depot and I'm going to set it down over here near this, just so we have a place to store stuff that's relatively close. Now, they're going to make it here and bring it over this way. And that's fine, but I might want to use it in other buildings later. And I think just extra storage is never a bad thing. So I'm just going to line this up and maybe go here with it. Put a depot there. And then also over here where our food centers and stuff are, I think I'm just going to add a depot maybe on the back side of this. Yeah, we'll say, maybe we'll line it up with this building here. So we'll say, symmetry is bad. We'll go here. All right, good. For you, I'm going to increase your radius, which I can do with credits and sponges now that I'm getting sponges. So we'll just do that. Increases your radius. We could do big baskets on this, which produces more food by 20%, which is great. And then finally, the refinery. I'm going to go ahead and do a production boost with you as well. Okay, so we should have a pretty good workflow here in terms of creating the basic essentials for what we need to survive. But we're going to start running out of power and all sorts of other things. So far, this stuff doesn't seem to take any power because I'm not producing any, right? So we need to start generating electricity. For that, we're going to need to go to our research screen. So I'm going to hit U on the keyboard, and it's right here. Tidal turbine is our initial research, and it's going to allow us to use the power of the sea currents to make electrical energy. It takes 20 credits to use, and we'll have 5 days in researching it. And then we can continue on with oxygen generation and battery factories. We need to start creating some of the essentials that we need to get people living here. Right now, it's just these two guys, and they're homeless. They're going to start getting upset at me, probably. I don't know. Maybe there's some space in here to live. Not entirely sure. We'll see about that. So let's speed up time really quick. And to give them a proper place to live. And I wasn't sure how this worked until I saw it. And I was kind of like, okay, that's pretty cool. So living spaces are with domes, okay? We're going to use domes for these. But the domes are not what you think. This isn't like Surviving Mars where the dome is huge and it goes in your production and it's next to all your buildings. Oh, no. This is water. We have verticality, right? Think Subnautica here, okay? Domes actually get built above the surface level. So they do occupy some space on the ground, but they don't occupy as much space as you think they do because this is a small one, okay? There are bigger ones later on. But you could have people living in your domes like this, which is what I plan to do. So I'm going to say the first dome that people can live in is going to be, let's say, right over, let's say here. We're going to build a dome there. Now, of course, we're not going to be able to have people live there very well yet. And most of that has to do with the fact that... Oh, did I not line this up correctly? Oh, I don't know if I lined this up correctly. Hold on. Mouse is here. Oh, perfect. Yep, I did. Okay. Never mind. You'll see the plan as it goes. But the dome goes above. So if I want to build in this, I hit tab. And it will switch to a new mode for construction. I can't do that yet because it's not technically built yet. But once it's built, I can then go into a whole new layer for construction. We could build things on top of the surface layer. So production happens down here, and all the living spaces and services and stuff will happen below, or above it, sorry. There's also the submarine coming in. I haven't noticed this before. Where are you? Oh, I think this is where we start getting supplies brought to us. I'm sorry, I'm trying to zoom in like a small amount, and it's just this. You have this one single increment, as that is it. I just want to see this thing closer. Okay, cool. Little submarine coming down. So I think we're getting a delivery from the surface. I think that's what this is, because you can get new people added, or more people can show up and stuff like that. So tidal turbine's done. Let's work on oxygen generation next, and we want to get power going. So we're gonna go to the production buildings, and we're gonna take a look at this tidal turbine. And the tidal turbine, I think I'm gonna put this on this side, and we'll put it like, I think probably like right here, right next to this. Okay, now again, everything gets hooked up to the pipeline. So the tidal turbine also gets hooked up to this pipeline. We're gonna just do it right there. Looks nice and clean that way. New arrivals. New people have arrived in your colony. New Atlantis HQ has sent them to assist us with our daily tasks. We should put them to good use as soon as possible. So now we have 4 people to help out. Great. This is going to generate some power for us. And I think I'm going to build 2 of them if I can afford it, which currently looks like I can. So I'm going to build right like that. Build 2 of them right there like this. And we're just going to make sure that we get the infrastructure hooked up and just... I guess right off the center part, we can keep them connected in kind of the same place. Probably fine. This is going to generate a lot of extra power. At least for now, it's a lot of extra power. It's going to get worse, but for now, it's a lot. Okay, so plastics factory is here. We could optimize it to have less upkeep. I think that's probably good. We could do the same thing with this. And we don't really need extra oil, but once we do, I can always hit the production boost on that too. There's no iron to upgrade the inventory space on that guy, so we can't do that. And then we can also expand you to have an extra worker slot, which could give us more food, but I think we're kind of fine on food for the time being. Okay, so the dome is done. I know it doesn't look like a dome, but if I hit tab, now the dome is here. It's a kind of a square area, and we can build on this. So this button actually changes. This entire menu down here actually changes. As I go up here, these buttons change. They shift. There's new items in each of these tabs, and one of them is houses. So I'm going to say that on the edges, we're going to have houses. So I'm going to say maybe here and here and here and here. Let's build 5 houses for now. Probably going to have more people, but let's just say this is like a housing row up here, okay? And we'll come back down. Now, of course, the drones and stuff, they have to bring resources over here to do that, and it's looking to me like we probably want another depot to be near the houses so that we can have things just immediately brought here, which sounds like a good idea. So I'll leave a little bit of space and put one right across from this. And then we're going to go ahead and gather resources. I'm going to have them gather this stuff too. Get this stuff out of the way. Okay, so gather resources. Our people are running over there. Nice. There's Aaliyah. There is... I'm trying to click on the other guy. Here it is. That is Aaliyah. There's 2 Aaliyahs. 2 Aaliyahs. Okay, Aaron. Is this guy named Aaron? He is indeed. We have 2 Aarons. 2 Aaliyahs. Okay. Maybe, on second thought, I'm thinking possibly it's not just the 2 first names alphabetically. It might just be the only 2 names period right now, which that's fine. Again, this is a very early, it's alpha. This is like pre-demo, right? So don't worry about it. It's fine. Everything's good. Okay. So the next thing I want to build is hit the research lab here. We're going to go to battery factory. We're going to want to build that. And now we need oxygen production. So oxygen production is here. This is going to take electricity. And it's going to produce 100 oxygen. So I'm going to actually put this, I think, right over here near this building. The thing is, like, I know where this is, what this is going to need to produce. I think it's probably fine to put it right behind this, actually, because it is, oh, if it fits, it will fit right here. Yeah. Right here. I'm going to put it right here. The reason for this is because it's going to be carried with a pipeline anyway, so it doesn't need to be located near all this stuff. Okay, so we're going to take and get our pipes, and it's going to connect like that. And then the pipeline needs to continue in a straight line all the way across like this and meet up with this dome here. Okay? So now we're going to have power provided to the dome. We're going to have oxygen, hopefully very soon, built and provided to the dome. Heating is going to get provided from the dome from, the fuel and stuff that we're producing. And I think that is all that's left for the essentials for survival, I think. We do have some health right here, and it looks like we have oxygen. We have a negative balance. We're gonna get that fixed right now, though, because that's gonna get hooked up to this. As soon as this building is completed, that will change. And there we go. So oxygen, we now have a big surplus in oxygen. And these buildings are really cool. They're all very unique. They're designed very differently than I'm used to seeing, because it's underwater, so you can get away with certain types of designs underwater that normally would just be like, okay, cool, why build it that way? Maybe not these buildings are a good example of that, but I'm sure we're going to get others, like the dome, for example. You would never build something like this, like just really, really narrow at the base and then up here. But when you're underwater, it changes, how you can what you can get away with in terms of building and construction and stuff. I like it. Battery factory is done. Let's go to the drone factory, and then we can start doing combos as well. So you can see oil Imperium combo. Oil refinery in proximity of oil platform gets a 10% bonus. So you can research adjacency bonuses, basically. Plastification, kind of the same thing. The drone factory will get 10% production bonus if it's near the plastics factory, that kind of thing. So it's pretty cool. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll try to look ahead in the tech tree to see where we can put things and how we can keep them close together. I already knew about this one. I knew about the drone one as well. I don't know about any of the other ones later on, so we'll have to see how that works. Should be good. But this is operational now, and you can see people are actually out of their scuba suits, walking around. You can see where they live. They got really nothing to do up here yet. Eventually, we're going to get public buildings. Things like hospitals can get set up, clinics, trade companies, schools, markets, pubs, a temple. Some of these are with these question marks. They're obviously not implemented yet, although maybe they are. It does say research them, so maybe it is implemented, but they don't have an icon yet. Some of the features are absolutely not available yet, and I'm trying to find an example of that. If I come down here, I think there's an example of that here. Sand road, not available in current version, right? So some of the stuff that we're going to see in here will say that it's not available in the current version of the game, but that's okay. We're going to play on as long as we can play on, because I think that's the best way to go about it. All right, so this isn't done yet. I'm going to go ahead and speed time up. You can go pretty fast with time acceleration here. There's like, there's 4 stages to time, so it's pretty cool. Let's go with the underwater field so that I can do different types of food for now, and we can circle back and get the adjacency bonuses later. Looks like we're also getting a delivery from the surface. I don't know what it's giving us. It's kind of hard to see what it's giving us. Maybe the drones will bring it to a storage depot or something. You're not being built yet. What do you need? You need iron. I don't have any iron, so we need to work on maybe getting some of that happening too. We can open its stock panel here. See that there's no iron in stock. Lots of plastic. No iron in stock. And we can set caps for various different things too. So if we don't want to store any more once we get something, the capacity in this whole building, there is limited capacity in these storages. So if I don't want to hold any more plastic, then I can tell it I don't need to hold any more plastic, right? That kind of thing. Let's say we want to build the drone factory now. Drone factory can be located near the refinery. Sorry, near the plastics. And so I can just put that maybe like right here. Seems like a decent spot for it. And then we can just go ahead and connect this with infrastructure right like that. So I like the idea of just putting things on this pipeline and having the pipeline just, everything just connected with one pipe. It doesn't seem like, it does cost resources to build these pipes. So the shorter you can make them, the more efficient it is. But it doesn't seem like there's any capacity limit, as far as I can tell, to these. In other words, you can pump 80 units of oil through it. You can pump 800 units of oil through it. It doesn't seem like there's a limit there. But we do need iron. And so I'm wondering when I can go and get, let's see, House 2 Trade Port Iron Mine, way over here. Okay, so that's a long ways, but we could maybe blitz towards it. The underwater field would be nice. And then I don't need these yet. Like I don't need to be more efficient yet. So I can hold off on doing these until I need them. We can go ahead and do a closed shop because that's going to make people a little happier to be here. And then I think because we have plastic, it's just plastic, right? Yeah, credits and plastic. I think because we have the plastic, let's go ahead and spend it while we have it. And we'll put more houses over along this side. Trying to see what's below me. Let's hold off doing that all the way across. I don't know if I'll be doing it on this side, but also it looks like there's iron here. So yeah, we can actually just tell them to gather this. There's iron there, and then let's say here, gather specific items. Tell you to gather it over there too. And that way we can get the iron for that storage. I totally forgot about that existing, so I'm glad that I remembered it now before it was too late to do. Now, demolishing stuff, I actually missed how to do it. So when you're playing the game, you might be like, how do I, like, if I don't want this anymore, how do I get rid of it? I can't click the building. More drones showed up. Cool. I can't click the building. Now, you can prioritize buildings. You click the center, and it'll pause it. Click the center again, and it will prioritize it. And then you click the center again, it goes back to normal. But you can't delete it. And you're trying to figure out how that is. Well, it's kind of hidden. I wish they would make this a little bit clearer. Honestly, a dedicated button right here that just deleted everything, like instead of being specific things, I think would be pretty helpful. Most games have a demolish tool, at least for, like, Surviving Mars, for example, has one for demolishing objects, and then there's a separate tool for demolishing pipes. That could be a good way to do it. But for now, this has this clear buildings and resources tool. And you can see that there's a button for demolishing buildings, fields, greenhouses, cages, and roads. Then there's one for the pipeline, and then there's one to cancel gathering. So that's kind of what they have here. They have one button for canceling buildings and everything, and then the other one for canceling the pipelines. But it's just kind of hidden over here. I kind of feel like I wish it was over here, but that's just the way they chose to do it. But if you click this, I can then click on certain buildings that I don't want to be built, and it won't be built anymore. So I would cancel this if I wanted to. So, like, for example, I could just go depot like that, and then I could say, you know what, I don't want that anymore. I come over, I choose that specific one, and then I have to highlight the area, which will then, highlight that in a red square, and then it just goes away. So the only reason I spent so much time explaining that is because maybe it's just me, because that's just who I am. If you've been around this channel long enough, you know that I have a problem with reading things on the screen. But it actually took me a while to find that, and it's here. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, okay, so Gatherer's Place. Let's expand this to have. I kind of feel like I want them to produce more instead of having more buildings. I could just have the buildings themselves produce more. It just takes me sponges, which I have tons of. So let's do a production boost on you. And I mean, I guess it takes credits too. And I'm not really generating any, right? In fact, let me just take a look at my outgoing. So yeah, I'm actually bleeding money right now. So I should probably hold off on these upgrades because I'm going to end up with a shortage in money. So let's just hold off on that for a little bit. But we have all the houses necessary for expanding our population. So if we want to have more, we have a total of 7 houses, 5 that are empty. There are actually families as well. So not every person needs a house. There are 2 families and 1 child. So they are having babies as well. So as long as they're happy, your population should grow naturally, in case you were wondering that. Let's do... yeah, we don't need any upgrades because we're already set here. So I'm going to basically just focus on research at the moment. And it looks like Subsurface Base 2 allows a comprehensive upgrade of our subsurface base. The upgraded center will provide 2,000 additional credits per year, have a store capacity of 1,500, and increase our maximum influence points to 5. All of that stuff sounds great, especially the 2,000 additional credits per year. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that, and then that's where I need to go to get closer to the iron mine. But I've got underwater fields that I can make now too, and it looks to me like our drone factory is up and running. And so this is going to be creating drones for us to start and work to work for us, which is nice. Let's talk about underwater fields then. I haven't used any of these. These are all new to me right now. So 0.1 plastic per area. Okay, so we can draw our own. Let's go ahead and turn on the grid. And it looks like this is all fertile land here. So maybe I go right on the edge of the fertile land. And maybe we just make like... Oh, it's going to put a building on that side. Can I flip it? Yes, I can. Awesome. And I can put like a field. 98%, 97%. Pretty good. I don't mind 97%. Do something like this. There we go. So it's pretty fertile land, and we could start growing more food. I like it. Okay, good. And they're just going to start working it right away. And of course, I'm going to probably need more people. Add maricultural plans. It looks like I have to choose the crop. They're also sending us additional financial help. Nice. So add mariculture to planting plan. So seaweed or sea cucumbers? Let's do sea cucumbers. So we're just going to grow sea cucumbers. Great. That's good. Now there's another button here called painting. And I think this is kind of nifty. If you don't like the theme, like you're thinking, oh, these buildings are ugly, you can color them yourself. Click the painting button here, and you'll get this color palette that you can choose that for this building. It will apply to all the buildings of this type or to all buildings entirely. So if I want to change the primary color to yellow, for example, do something like, let's say, I don't know, something really gaudy, like yellow and lime green. Oh yeah. If I want to do something like that, I could totally do that. What's worse is if I want to do this to everything, I can change the building. I can change all buildings to this party neon light extravaganza we got going on down here, right? So maybe I want to alter this just a little bit differently. Maybe I say the details color is the one that's lime green. And then maybe this goes back to being yellow, and then I say go. It's a little less ugly, but like it's a different theme, right? And you can change how that works. And you can see how it looks with the dome as well and all the buildings inside. Maybe the houses should be different. You know, maybe I take the houses, and the houses are not going to be this disgusting color. Maybe we do something different with it. We could say, you know, maybe they're red and there's no yellow. Say there's maybe like a white here. And then I say, okay, apply to all type. And now all houses will be this color. Okay, so you can change things up with colors and stuff to make your colony, you know, your colony. Maybe I want my, maybe I want the oil to be more red in its color, and I don't want to have any lime green. I could do something like that and just apply it to only this type. If you're like, well, maybe I don't want the whole thing, then you just don't hit apply to type, right? So if you want individual houses, right? So let's say I want this house to be orange. I just don't hit apply to type. I just leave it the way it is. It's already changed. You don't have to save changes. And so now you have the house looking like this, which is kind of nice. So there you go. You have that. Pull it back to the way it was. Yeah. So personalization is what I'm saying. You can change things up and make it kind of your own if that's your thing. Okay, so closed shop is researched. Subsurface base 2 is researched. I assume that means I can upgrade it. Let me just see if that's possible. No, it's already upgraded. It's already subsurface base 2. So our income is 3880, and now we have a surplus. Yes, now we have a surplus. So we're making money now. Good. We might have been making money already, and I just didn't realize it. It's possible. Battery factory. We're going to need to make batteries, and I'm going to place this over near... I don't know if this needs an adjacency bonus, but I feel like if I place this kind of like over here near where the drones are made, that might be best. So I'm going to place it kind of... Looks like I can do it here. That might be cool, because then the walkway is right up against it. I can dig that. Yeah, and then we'll just go like that. Now the entrance is like right up against it. Then we'll take the infrastructure pipeline. We'll go right from here, straight over and connect to like that. There we go. That's all connected. Now it's possible the battery factory is going to pull a lot of extra power. We have a surplus in fuel. That's good. Surplus in electricity for now. That's going to take, we have a 40 balance. And if I was going to make the battery factory, where is it? It's going to take 60 electricity. So I need more electric. Okay, so we're going to take another tidal turbine, and we're just going to make another one maybe back here like this. Now, should I put them this close together? It does work. It does work. And then we'll take the pipeline and we'll just connect it like so. There we go. Okay. That should give us enough power for our version of Rapture, huh? Pretty cool, huh? I think the buildings look sick. And then this ramp is right next to where the drones can be made, so they just ramp right up into here. I think that's cool. Now our efficiency is 88%, and it's due to lack of upkeep resources from the pipeline network. Let's take a look at what that might be. We're looking at a lack of electricity. We already knew that was going to happen, which is why this one is underway. As soon as this gets built, which looks like it's happening right now, as soon as this gets built, the efficiency should go up, and then we can also do like a production boost on this if we want to as well. So we'll just hit the production boost on that and maybe optimize it as well. There we go. Now we're good. Now we have 69 spare power. Nice. Perfect. Exactly the right amount. All right. So I think it's probably time to start research on. Let's go with the Sea Hunter's Trident combo. Sea Hunter's Lodge in proximity to a fisherman's hub gains 10% production bonus. So that's just more. Yeah, Sea Hunter's Lodge, and then. Oh, I get it. I don't have this yet. That's why it's grayed out. Okay. Let's go ahead and get the plastification combo, and then we'll get the Sea Hunter's Lodge. Now, in case you're wondering, no, you cannot. I wish they would change it, but I mean, not every game needs it, I guess. But this game, I feel like it could use it. The tech tree is long enough to where it would be a good thing to have. You cannot queue up multiple research, so you just have to wait till this is done, and then you can click one. Likewise, it doesn't seem like there's a way for you to stop research and trade to another one once you've clicked one. It doesn't seem like there's a way to do that. So just keep that in mind. Once you click, there's no take backsies, okay? At least in this version of the game. So that's done. We'll go ahead and do the Sea Hunter's Lodge now. And it looks like we've got new people in the colony. Beautiful. All right, let's take a look. We have a total of 7 houses, and we have 5 families, so we have 2 empty houses. Very cool. We might want to look into getting another dome set up pretty soon. I don't know how that works, because I have never done that before. I don't even know how they connect to each other. But I was kind of hoping to put another one right here, and it looks like I kind of went a little overboard on where that was positioned. And I can't place one here. And it looks like I cannot place one on this side. I might be able to do it like this. But I don't know how to connect domes together. Because I know there's a way to do it, because I've seen them in the screenshots, but I don't know how that's done. Because if I can figure that out, then I could build one like right here. And that would be awesome. And then we could just have this extra dome where people can just move around, right? So let's, maybe we mark one here. I can look that up or practice it or whatever. I don't know. Figure out how to do it. But maybe I place this here. We don't need it built yet, so we can just pause it and then just take a look at where it is. And my hope is that I can somehow connect it by going like this. I've seen these like hubs get built. This might not be the best place to do that, but I've seen like hubs get built. And let me just demolish this really quick. Maybe we'll build it over here instead. Another small one, like yeah, if I could go back in time, if I could turn back time, I would put these 2 buildings on this side of the pipeline. But it's what's done is done, I think. Maybe I could just redo it. I mean, these aren't essential buildings. These are battery factory and drone factories. I could rebuild them. I wonder if I get any resources back for doing so. That's something to see, because I don't actually know if I do. So let's see if I do. If I hit this, demolish refund. Yeah, I get resources back for doing that. All right, so we'll just do this. I can turn back time. See, you can turn back time. Didn't you know? You can do that if you want to. You can. Let's take the, where was it? It's the drone battery factory. Drone factory needs to be close to this building for the adjacency bonus. So we'll say right here instead. We'll build this. Let's say right there. There you go. And then we'll get the battery factory and we'll put it over here like this. This is fine. Everything is fine. No big deal. Yeah, it's not quite as clean, but this will allow me to do the thing I was going to do before, which is to get a dome put in right beside this. Yeah, right beside it. So I just want to see if that's possible and how to connect them later. So this will give me the option to do that later. And then, of course, the infrastructure, the pipes need to be connected as well. So we'll have this go straight across to here, and then we'll just have you hook up there like that. Okay, cool. All right, guys, I think this is going to do it for this introductory video to Aquatico. I'm excited to see where this goes. It does look like it's going to start getting more and more complicated, right? We obviously have tons of resources here that I have not built. We're going to have needs for people that I have not met. And then there's tons of stuff you can build later, like public buildings, hospitals, clinics, etc., restaurants, oyster bars, sushi bar, ramen bar. Sorry, ramen restaurant, fast food. We gotta make glass for this. We gotta make furniture for this. We have to research fast food. So like, there's definitely some potential here. Perfume, software company, clothes shop is right here. We could give them a clothes shop, maybe in the back, kind of like I don't know. I'm trying to not to block the doors, so we do something like this here. So they live near the clothes shop, right? And that's a place for them to get more, because right now we have no basic goods. And the clothes shop is going to take 80 electricity, that's a lot, 70 plastics, and 100 credits. So the more we have to make more credits, we have to make more plastics, right, to be able to produce, in this case, 175 clothes. And then a person will work here, right? So there's definitely some potential in this game. If you want to see more, please leave me a comment. Let me know. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, all that stuff. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.